all set to go. Throttle control to auto. Roger, let's go now. Sounds good. Ready? Getting close. Okay. Sure feel like we're going the wrong way.
Howdy, YouTubies. Alrighty, well, it is slightly after 7 a.m. I'm on my way to meet XxXDeadhead. He is a Northern California vlogger, motor vlogger. And we're doing a little meetup. So it should be pretty fun. We're gonna do some filming, some artsy-fartsy stuff. We'll see what happens. You know, get some grub, do some riding. All the stuff you expect with a meetup. So basically, a couple things new today. First, I'm trying to figure out where that cold air is coming from. But, yeah, we'll figure that out in a second. I just got a new helmet. Maybe that's the answer. I think I got my venting open. Just got a new helmet. It's the Harley Signa Q. And it's good stuff. This time I got a small shell shape. Because I used to wear a medium, although I think I'm a small. There was a guy test fitting riders at a track saying that generally you want to go a size smaller than you think you need to go. So what I did is I hooked up my old heated vest by Witter, and I knew it'd be cold. Sure enough, it is cold, and the heated vest works great. The thing is, I'm glad I did it last night, because I had this problem with the battery post screw. My tires feel overinflated. I probably should have checked those. I'll check them later on. Whoa, that heated vest kicks in nice. I hate missing exits. Oh, traffic circle. We're south. So XxXDeadhead is a NorCal vlogger. I'll put his link in the description here. And he does quality content, good editing, good audio. Definitely recommend it. Check out his channel. Talked to him a little bit already. Nice guy. We seemed, as he mentioned, we both have the gift of the gab. That's true. We're both vloggers. It'd be funny if we didn't, but you never know. You never know. I tell you, the heated vest makes a world of difference. I left all my venting open because I just got a new helmet and I didn't check it like I should have. And man, the heated vest just totally overrides that. It makes me forget that I'm a little cold. Okay, so I'm heading over there. I'm gonna take the 126 to the 101, and we're meeting in Paso Robles, which is about halfway between us. Meeting at a little independent coffee shop, which got great Yelp reviews. And we'll go from there. You know, it's fun to meet new vloggers. It's fun, but it's also good for the viewer. The viewer can see us interact and see sort of how we are with other people rather than, you know, how we are in monologue. And it's good stuff. Good for the vlogging community. So I've been trying to get into AdSense. The problem is I got rejected again. I guess it's weird. It's like they think that I'm doing something that I'm not doing. They think that I'm like selling term papers and like using the Google ad in the wrong way. Like they're not very specific. But all the stuff I can think of that would merit exclusion or denial seems to be, you know, things that don't apply to me. So I don't know. I wish there was a human I could speak to and figure out what the hell is going on. I don't know if the robot's rejecting me. I think it is. So anyway. I'm gonna keep trying. I do want to get monetized, no lie, because you know, every minute I spend editing is time I'm not spending doing art, you know, working on other stuff, music, writing for that matter. So, although I like it, it takes time, you know, and wouldn't mind seeing some money from it. And also, there's the investment of, you know, 3 video cameras and the helicopter I hired. Just kidding, no helicopter yet. You never know. But we'll see. I just want to bring good content. Okay, I'm going a little faster than the speed limit, so I'm going to take a chill. I'm just trying to pass this guy. Now the thing is, when you don't have heated gear, where does your heat come from? It's a loss scenario, a heat loss scenario, pretty much. All the time. So if you have incoming heat, well, that's pretty awesome. You gotta have some incoming heat, especially if it's cold out. Because what do? Shiver? You know, what happens is if your thorax starts sucking up all your heat, that's less heat for your brain. Wow, this shield is drafty. Now, when you wear a heated vest, you don't want to bulk up on a bunch of gear with a bunch of clothing. You just want to keep the layers pretty thin so the heat's closer to your body. And of course, the heated vest is doing the work. You don't need all the layers. And so when you supply warm blood to your midsection, your heart, or your vital organs, which your body really wants to keep warm, that'll put more blood into your hands because your whole body has more warm blood in it, and your body will release some of that warm blood to your hands instead of freezing out your extremities. Of course, your brain gets more warm blood as well, and you can think better. You literally will ride better, and you'll be more comfortable. A ride that's 100 miles will seem maybe like a lot less, but if you're freezing, 10 miles can seem like a lot. Alright, I had a traffic stop today. I was just getting started on this road trip, and the officer pulled me on the 126, which seems to be pretty heavily enforced. It's like a little two-lane highway that runs through like Fillmore and such on the way to Ventura County. Now, I saw this officer going the other way. I was going at a brisk pace, but nothing too crazy. I could have been going a lot faster, and I kind of wanted to go faster, but I was taking it easy. So he comes behind me and he paces me for a bit. Of course, I saw him the whole time. Why? Because I'm aware of my surroundings. And he pulls me over and he was talking to me. The problem is I couldn't really hear him because, well, one, I'm hard of hearing. I'm a special case. I'm not like a normal person who can hear. And then, two, I'm wearing earplugs because even though I'm hard of hearing, certain frequencies are very annoying to me. And like most riders, I don't want to lose my hearing, so I'm going to wear earplugs when I'm riding. Because when you have constant wind noise, that's a good way to lose your hearing, and there's no fucking way I'm going to lose my hearing. So, he had mentioned the earplug thing, and sure, okay, you know, I thought they were actually legal. I thought they had legalized that, but I guess not. But, you know, I'll deal with it at the time, but there's just no way I'm not going to wear earplugs. And two, he was talking about my height as it relates to touching on the ground, touching, as he called it, the floor. Touching the ground from the bike. Now, I can touch the ground, I can tiptoe. But apparently, he was saying that you have to be flat-footed. I don't know if that's correct, because anyone that knows how to ride knows that you don't need to flat-foot a bike. And I'm guessing that whoever wrote the CBC codes must have some idea that you don't really need to flat foot, although maybe it's in there, I don't know. I don't know how important they consider that to be. But if you're a rider, you understand that flat footing is not essential. And there are people who can't flat foot their bikes even who have inseam. People who are tall. There's people who are tall that are riding sufficiently tall bikes where they can't flat foot them. Dirt bikes, you can't flat foot a dirt bike or an enduro, right? And those are street legal. So I don't know about that. I just thought it was funny that he mentioned it because he was just going over everything, which is cool. I was happy to talk to him. You know, he was a nice guy. Look, I have nothing against officers. I really don't. I like the police. I support them. I think it's great that we can call them and they're there and whatever. But there's a line at which you feel like you're being, I don't want to use the H word, but hassled. Now look, this was a nice guy. He let me go with a warning. But he was really going over those rules and regulations. And, you know, he was just going by the book. What else did he mention? He mentioned that I was missing my fender, my rear, because I have a fender eliminator on my GSX-R. Now, sure, he has a point. Per the letter of the law, per the DOT, I'm supposed to have those reflectors, but who in their right mind keeps the reflector on the bike? I mean, those things are fugly. In fact, manufacturers make them so you can take them off more easily these days. Ocean. So, yeah, I have a fender eliminator, and technically I'm not supposed to eliminate the fender because those reflectors are going to save my life when some asshat is texting and coming up behind me about to rear end me. Because, you know, that's a big deal. Now sure, this is the law. This is not his fault. It's not his fault that I'm technically violating the law, the letter of the law. But, you know, he doesn't really have to cite it. I was trying to figure out his angle because, you know, I was wondering, like, was he wronged by a motorcycle rider? Did a motorcycle rider piss him off at one point? What's the deal? Does he hate sport bike riders? He was eyeballing my NASA uniform, and here's one thing, having my URL, that's a bad time to have your URL on your bike, your YouTube URL, because, you know, I ride in a manner that is reasonable and prudent for conditions, but I ride in a way that's fun. Otherwise, why would I even ride? I'd take a car everywhere, and I'd always go the speed limit. But, you know, how many people go the speed limit, ever? You know, the speed limit on California freeways is 65 miles an hour. But that's not the flow, that's not the traffic flow, that's not how fast people are actually going. And if you go 65 in fast lane, you will get road raged. Of course, anyone who's ever driven on a California freeway knows all this, including cops. The thing is, cops are not really bound by the rules, even when they're not on duty. I mean, they are to a certain extent, but, you know, a cop can go 80 everywhere he wants on the freeway, and if he gets pulled, well, he's a cop. I mean, who's going to write another cop a ticket? It happens, it's just most cops don't want to do that. They prefer not to write a ticket to another cop. And I know this for a fact because I've heard it from cops. I read it in a book written by a cop. Now look, don't get me wrong, I like cops, and I'm making this vlog knowing full well that the cop who pulled me over might see it. Maybe. That's okay. You know, he knows what people are thinking and what people are doing, and that people might drive differently around cops than they do normally. He knows that. He's not stupid. You know, he knows that people might slow down if they see him. That's why cops hide. That's why some cops hide. I'm not saying he hides. This is not about him. This is about all cops. This is about the law as it stands, as it's enforced. There could be a very bad law, and if you enforce that law enthusiastically, then you may keep your job, but you may be enforcing an unethical law. Right? For instance, if the cop knows that wearing earplugs protects your hearing, and he knows that not wearing them is going to damage your hearing, and he enthusiastically enforces that law everywhere he goes with all motorcyclists, or even just occasionally, he is enforcing a bad law. Now, in the 0.005% of the time that you need to hear an officer, sure, having earplugs could be a problem. But if someone goes deaf because they're not allowed to wear earplugs, and then what? Then they're really not gonna hear the officer. So enforcing a bad law is a bad idea. And a lot of cops ignore bad laws, right? Now, you know, every cop is different. They're human beings like anyone else. I'm perplexed why he was quoting all the CBCs at me. So I looked it up, and yeah, apparently earplugs are not legal, not permissible for the CDC. But I had to put them back in because it was painful. Now the other thing he mentioned is, which I already mentioned here in the vlog, is that I couldn't put both feet on the ground, flat footing. And yeah, like I'm gonna give up riding. And then he mentioned that I can get a suspension lowering kit. I would never fucking do that. I would never do that, because actually, I told him the story. I've actually crashed on the freeway because my suspension bottomed out on a really fucked up part of the road, right? Van Nuys, 405 South, around Van Nuys Boulevard, carpool lane. It's super rampy and bumpy. And if you hit, apparently, like I had taken that section of freeway like every day for years and years and many bikes. But one day I hit it at the wrong speed and at the wrong angle, and I was doing about 65, right? And I got bucked off by my bike. Somehow I bottomed out the suspension, and I was sliding head first at about 65 miles an hour on the freeway in my black leathers, my other leathers. So I would never get rid of my suspension travel on a motorcycle, because I need that suspension travel, obviously, especially as bad as the roads are in SoCal sometimes. Some roads are bad, some aren't. But I have to ride on all the roads. So, yeah, I would not do that just to satisfy the one officer out of all the officers who brings it up that I might be too short for a motorcycle. I mean, seriously. So yeah, thank you for giving me a warning though, sir, if you're watching this. I wouldn't mind hearing from other cops who are watching this, if you would actually pull people over or cite them for, you know, being 5'3" and unable to flat foot their motorcycle, or wearing earplugs when they're on a bike. Now speeding, of course, speeding is interpretive. It is and it isn't. I mean, I would have gotten a max speed law ticket, I'm sure, which is not good. My intent was not to speed. My intent was just to get to where I'm going. I was on a several hundred mile road trip, and you know, just getting started. And there's nothing like getting pulled over when you're just getting started. Anyway, that's it for now on that.